Everybody, welcome to Building with Sand, episode 27. Today is Thursday, April 11th, 2013. If you may or may not have noticed that there was no episode on Monday. I totally meant to do it. Unfortunately, this last Friday, my operating system hard drive decided to begin failing. And, just a bunch of bad things happening with that. I ended up getting a new solid-state drive for my operating system and moving all of my stuff into a new terabyte hard drive for program files, and I finally got it all fixed yesterday, and I didn't do anything today, really. So, and I haven't worked on the gardens at all like I meant to. Today will probably be a short episode because I didn't really get any stuff prepared, and I wanted to get something done. We're gonna work on fleshing out the walls of the first floor today. I got a bunch of quartz here, and looks like my wife left me some more quartz, so we have a bunch of quartz. Going to want... I think that's good. No, we're gonna need more than that. There we go. So, I've kind of come up with what I want for this. In creative, thing is, in creative mode, this is the ground floor right here. What I plan to do is extend out sand here, kind of. Or actually, it's going to be 2 layers of dirt. What kind of like a rolling hill effect going down. More dirt down here too. So we're gonna get to the front part of it last. We're gonna do the easy stuff first. Basically, what I want to do is have a series, excuse me, a series of pillars going down like that. From those like outcroppings. Need around here is what I want. That we're gonna need more. So it's gonna be out like that, and then back here will just be like this, and come down so, and then I'm not sure how I'm going to do it right now. I did actually have stairs around the front. It might just be like that for now, and then we'll get back to what it's going to look like after we get these pillars in. And stairs too. I'm going to replace some of the sandstone wall area. Some of the sandstone that's already in existence with quartz stairs. Not gonna be enough. That should be okay for now. Oh, that's not. That is not my torches. What I have in my creative is like this, where I go with quartz like that, quartz like this, and then finish it off with a bit of regular sandstone to match up. And then what I want to do is actually have so this is going to be is ultimately make one of them so you guys see what I'm planning to do is have the want to have like a little fountain. Never gonna get to do that. Oh, I had it sitting back. Okay, that's easier. I feel like that's what I have. Yeah, should be right. Like that. And we have a little waterfall back there. And then I'm going to mirror that in other spots. But I'm going to get around to putting that in later. First I want to get around to putting all this stuff in, and that bug is still in the game. That's awesome. That. Where's... So I'm trying to think what I've been up to all week, except for really not a lot because I haven't been able to play computer games or video games at all. My computer threatening to die on me at any moment. I was trying my best to not do anything that might make it just kind of weaker. I don't know the best term. Just like I didn't want to do anything that stressed it out, so that it would actually end up dying on me at any random moment. So kind of I spent a couple days just uninstalling everything that I had that was taking up a ton of space, and then trying to get down. I had to ultimately get down to having only about 110 gigabytes on my operating system drive, and I was running with a terabyte drive, so I had 800 gigabytes of stuff on there over the last, I think, 2 years or so that I've been using this computer. I made it kind of rough because my new solid state drive is only 128 gigabytes. Replaced put in an extra hard drive that was another terabyte. It was actually an upgraded version of the drive I had that died. Apparently, I don't know, I've been using computers that I've personally built for ever since I was in high school. A good over 10 years, if not closer to 15. All the computers I've ever used were my own, I built myself. I've never ever had a hard drive failure, so it was really surprising to have one in 2 years, especially in computers that I've had longer than that. So it was a real pain in the butt. Luckily it's fixed now, and the computer runs a lot quicker. Come on. It's surprising how much more, how much quicker the system seems now that I have a solid-state drive in it, because originally it was, I mean, it was just a normal platter hard drive, and I have a Intel i7-2700K. It's a little older now, but it's still, when I bought it, it was like the fastest one you could get that was reasonably priced and for consumer, and it was pretty much the best. You know, it was just incredibly fast, and Now it's still pretty good. I mean, there's quicker ones, but I'm probably not gonna have to worry about getting a new computer for quite a while, thanks to that. If anything, I'm gonna have to get a new video card in the next year to 2 years, I would say. Things progress. Not even really that bad. That's probably the weakest point of my computer that I that I have as my video card. It's only an NVIDIA let's say GT something 680 or 580. Yeah, it's like a 580, and the weakest link of my computer, but it's one of the easiest things to replace. And you know, I never really believed in actually staying up with the most you know, high-end video cards, because of most things they will be obsolete, you know, pretty much the fastest, and they're one of the easier things to replace. When you replace something like not a video card, a motherboard or a processor or something, it usually comes with, you know, having to put in a completely, you know, rebuilding your system completely, having new installations of your operating system and all that stuff. So popping in a new video card is not too hard, and you know, pin stuff doesn't change all that much. We've been, you know, PCI Express, I imagine, will be around for a while longer, and so I don't have to worry about that. And even if it did change to something new, you know, motherboards would switch over to having, you know, a couple PCI Express slots, and a couple, you know, some of the new ones, like my motherboard, which had, you know, some PCI Express slots, and then it had regular PCI slots that, you know, are being phased out. I'm sure no real new stuff is ever made with regular old PCI connectors really anymore. I mean, I'm not gonna say nothing, but it's probably changing to that. I'm one of the kind of people that generally builds a computer that's mid to high end instead of being like super high end or low end or whatever you want to do. And I generally hang on to them for, you know, 3 to 5 years, if not longer. Yeah, 3 to 5 years. So I'm on year 2 of this computer. I'm expecting it to live, you know, not just live, but be relevant for another good couple of years, and so I'm really not worried about having to do anything fairly quick. I'm really not worried about that. I'm just thinking we're kind of getting to the point in computing where computers are getting fast enough now that as they get older, they're still relevant and being quick. I remember, you know, back in one of the computers I built for when I went to college back in 2003, it was, I thought it was fast, and then you know, nowadays it's like uncomfortably slow how you know, how long it takes to boot up or do anything. I still have the computer somewhere. I haven't actually turned it on in 4 or 5 years. I had a very short laptop phase when I was in the military, because I couldn't drag around a PC, but once I got to the point where it was a little more available for being somewhere a long time, I built a new PC, and that's what I have now. But, you know, what I have now is pretty quick. If I was to really bare bones it and make it so it was just, you know, for, say, internet browsing or whatever, and not for like the photography stuff I do or video editing and all that, it would be super quick. If I didn't, you know, slow it down with stupid stuff. So I imagine when it's time to replace this computer, I could just, you know, as long as all the parts are in good working order, I would just, you know, decide to turn it into, say, a media center or whatever, even though I use a Raspberry Pi for that. It's not really much of it to do. But I don't think it'll be, you know, I don't think this computer will be shelved as much as any of the older computers I have. Which is nice. I mean, eventually we're really gonna start getting to a point one day where, in computing, where even though things are so fast, so much faster than, say, a computer that is 10,000, just 5 times faster than what I have right now, and then you get a computer that is, say, you know, which is a lot. We don't really jump that much quicker up in speeds. Yeah, even though we do kind of have a semi-exponential technology curve. At the same time, jumping that much is a big deal, but even so, if we did jump, say, to 5 times faster, and then we jump to 10 times faster, there's only so much that the human brain's really going to notice in terms of speed. So eventually, even though they will legitimately be much quicker, it's going to be a lot harder for people to notice the differences. And when we get into things like quantum computing, that's going to be a big issue too, because it's just like, this is so fast I can't comprehend it. And you know, what's going to happen then to computing? Because sorry about the rain. Because we're going to start feeling like there's no reason to go any quicker. Not that we will actually do that, but it'll just be harder and harder to notice the differences. So it's something to think about. You know, maybe one day we'll be all wired up as, you know, with cybernetic implants and all that kind of stuff, and it will, you know, things like time will be a little more legitimate in our little, you know, in our minds. It's hard to say. But I mean, things will undoubtedly, as long as we progress society and not kill each other, and you know, anytime soon, we're going to get more. Our technology is just going to increase and increase to the point where, you know, that is our big thing. Anybody who's ever really been into sci-fi stuff, you know, knows that, well, not knows, but things like the ultimate human technology, things like very advanced nano machines, where, you know, say a nanomachine replaces your cells and does the same job, and they, you know, they don't break down, or they only require energy like the sun, like heat from the sun to function or whatever. Then, you know, what if you are a person completely comprised of that? If you know, where does humanity end? Is that our maximum potential? Is when we cease to be? Like, I don't know. There's so much to say. Are we going to become like Protoss, the Protoss, or, you know, just beings of pure energy eventually, like they're Archons? I'm here for stairs. Who knows? I would really like to see what that kind of stuff will be. I don't expect to make it there. It would be interesting. Yeah. I feel like I'm getting off on a dozen different tangents that all don't make sense. Look at this. Something starting with computers. Yeah. So I guess what I was getting at is my computer's fixed, and hopefully it'll last a while. Last much longer. It's amazing how fast the technology gets replaced nowadays, though. Now we're having, you know, certain computers for... I would say actually that I've been having my certain computers that I've owned. More recent ones have lasted longer than computers that I've had in the distant past, because back in, say, the late 90s, I feel like we were jumping from things like, you know, 286 processor at 386 to 46 to the first gigahertz, you know, gigahertz processors in a matter of, you know, very few amount of years. Like, you know, 2 to 3 years. We're going every couple of months. It's, hey, it's this faster and faster computer. That's kind of what it felt like to me. You know, or at least it happened. All those like jumps happened in a matter of like, you know, 5-6 years. So nowadays I can have a computer like my current one that'll last me 5-6 years, and it'll still be legitimate. Versus, you know, my 286 lasted me a year, and now it's time for 386, and our 46 is already out. So that's the interesting thing to me. It's kind of like cell phones too. People are turning over cell phones so much quicker nowadays. This is really gonna stink for me putting up a wall around this, because I don't have any space here. So we're gonna have to cut into this extreme hills biome. It pisses me off. Unfortunately, I'm probably gonna put grass around a lot of this. So it'll blend in a way and look funny, but I can't do anything about this rain, unfortunately. Next time we build a city, next time I'm building with Sand Season 2 or whatever, I'm going to find a giant desert biome if I can, that's just like an island continent, and go from there. So I don't have anything to contend with other than the ocean. There are islands like that here in this server, but it's too late for me to switch over. And I'm still wondering, you know, what's going to happen with Minecraft 1.6. Is it going to be time to switch to a new map? I really don't know. I don't know yet. You know, nothing has been revealed yet, but what if new biomes are being put in, or whatever. There's been pictures recently tweeted by Jeb. He put a picture up of a horse wearing armor, the new horses, and it was also tied to a post. So that's interesting. Is it going to be that you can, is it going to be that horses can get tied up naturally somehow, or is there going to be a rope? That's something I'm really hoping for, is some sort of rope. I think that would be cool. Also, excuse me. Gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with this. I need to put dirt down. But we're gonna have horses with armor, and they'll be able to be tied up. Or what, you know, what biome are horses gonna be in? Is the question. And there's a... who knows, really? I look forward to having new biomes. I'm just kind of reticent about there having to be a map change, unfortunately. A lot of this sand is gonna need to go away. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. Horses seem to be the big thing of the new patch. I'm just curious as to, you know, what else is going to be in it. Who knows? Dinnerbone also tweeted actually the other day that he's working on a system to make it so that when you're in an area longer, it becomes more dangerous or more difficult. The difficulty rises. And by difficulty, he said it was going to be numbers, increasing numbers, like making a mob have more health or do more damage, but rather they would have better AI and better items and things like that. I'm actually very skeptical about this. I don't agree with people who want to make Minecraft harder because they don't feel a challenge for the game. And it's not that I don't feel a challenge or that I want a challenge or don't want a challenge. It's that I don't think Minecraft is a game that needs to be challenging, needs to be hard. There's a lot of younger people that play. It's, you know, a game that opens up to a lot of creativity, and I don't see a reason for making the game harder. You know, and I don't see a reason for making the game harder in this setting, or at this point, because honestly, the combat system in Minecraft is just terrible, and making some mobs are harder just makes it more of a pain in the butt, because that means, you know, I'm gonna have to, you know, try harder to just get around and do stuff. Supposedly, I don't know why Bitterbone wants to make it feel like that the game has to, really be that much harder. Like, I think the people who want it to be harder are the vocal majority, but they're not the actual majority of the people who play the game, who really don't care about things being harder. I don't know. I think it's a terrible idea. And how bad the combat system is. We have things like you can almost always get hit first by spiders, or, you know, things like zombies don't even wave their arms at you when they attack unless they're holding an item. It's just like, why are we doing? Why does this have to happen? Why does you know, why make the game harder when it doesn't need to be harder? Is really my opinion. It's not going to change anything. I don't understand why people want it to be so that you have to be. I mean, I understand what he wants is that he doesn't like that people set up a base and then, you know, to start doing things like make spawner or mob farms and all that stuff, and then there's no end game, where the end game is everything's easy and now we just do what we want. But I don't know if making things more difficult is really the way to go, because it's not gonna make it any more fun. It honestly isn't. When things are more hard to kill or more pain in the ass, why, you know, make the game harder than it needs to be when it's, you know, so annoying right now to deal with stuff like the mobs that we do have, because the combat system is so, you know, so primitive. Like, you know, make a new combat system and then think about making the game more difficult. That's honestly what I think. So we'll see. Some people say it should just go into hard mode or hardcore, and that just kind of ignores the point of it. I don't know. Kind of is. I like change. I just don't like it when things are changed for very pointless reasons, in my opinion. I kind of feel like what I need to do is take out this entire row of sand here. Give me a little more space. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going with this front garden. This is all going to be grass, of course, with stuff out here. I want it to be like you go to the garden and there's this lush greenery, or as green as we can get it in the desert, and trees and stuff everywhere around it. Unfortunately, we are right up against the edge of the biome. This right here really bugs me that we have rain right there. But I'm gonna have to live with it. I could have moved. Well, couldn't really move this much more over. I guess I had a couple of spots. And when the ball goes around, I don't know what to do about that. I should have more desert biome over there, just if we have river in the way. Yeah, I'm not gonna care about that. It's like we have more desert biome over there with river between two. I just wish this wasn't... This is extreme hills, so you have extreme hills. There might be a little desert, river, extreme hills, and then the desert. It's just a biome like, mess. I think we're good for today. Still more stuff to do in the front here, so I'm gonna try to figure out between now and next episode. There's that guy. This isn't gonna be completely hollow. At the minimum, we're gonna have walls encompassing it in different fashions, and with this kind of thing, I'm gonna have some stuff jutting in and out around. But this part of the building, we're really not gonna have. I don't know if I'm gonna have an entryway or not. Probably not. And that'll be it. I'm just thinking I might need a way to get out in case I fall down here. But maybe I'll have a secret entrance somewhere, like under the staircase or something. But it's not meant to be like public entry at all. We'll continue working on this. Hopefully, this is Friday's episode, so whether or not I get a Monday episode, I'm not sure. Trying to do more things in life that isn't Minecraft right now. I'm just kind of on different kicks of different stuff and just playing other video games and enjoying myself. But maybe we'll talk about that next episode. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully see you next time. And hopefully this building will be more complete by then, because I really want to get it done before episode 50, which is coming up soon, for no real reason other than that's just a number 50. But thanks for watching again. I'll see you next time. Take care.